Hello folks, Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com. Today coming to you with a long-awaited finish to a project I've been working on. That's right, the completion of getting or obtaining one of every single Ibanez PS10, Paul Stanley model, ever made. So today I finally got my last one in. Hardest one to find actually, for some reason. This one being the classic. Okay, made in, no matter what anything on the internet tells you, made in 1996. Okay, 1996 was the last year for all PS10s. You'll always see 97 all over the internet. Right there, serial number proves to you, and all of them are this way. H96, that's October of 96, right there. Okay, so 96 was when they were made, not 97. The limited here with the gold was made in 95, not 96. So they're kind of all over the place, but yeah, I'm always here to give you the real lowdown, and I'll do a deal with every one of the PS10s shortly, all in one probably hour-long video to tell you the differences between all of them and just put a definitive documentary, if you will, or rockumentary, all a Spinal Tap, of all just the PS10, so you have one place to find all the real answers. Okay, the main thing about the classic, what they tried to do, which they didn't, they kinda got close, but they wanted to go back and do like they did in the 70s and redo, that's right, the classic PS10. Now, of course, I have the very first one, which is the 1978 right here. Okay, so without spending all the time in this particular video, because you're here to see the classic and you'll get to see all the major differences between the others in the epic 5-hour 3D video. I'm sure you know me, it takes forever to do anything, but no, they didn't get everything right or the same as they did back in 78. Main differences, little stupid things. They use chrome screws instead of nickel screws. Thing is, the Iceman's, or I'm sorry, the PS10s, sorry Paul, were not consistent from 78 through 81. They had differences too. Okay, what they did get right, according to the 78s, 79s, and 80s, were the chrome, the actual chrome, not mirrored, but actual chrome cavity covers. Of course, the location and the actual strap buttons themselves, this is correct about mid-1979. They started going underneath there. In 78, it was located right back here. Okay. Other things that were noticeably different, just the Paul Stanley inlay on this is just like the latter stuff that came out. This is more like the limited than it is the old 70 stuff, but that's just on a plain plate. The old 78 back there was actually done on a piece of mother of pearl instead of just a plain metal plate. They tried to use the metal plates like this from the Korean PS10-2 over here, but they couldn't get it right, so they just do another inlay in like these. Just tossed another one there because they couldn't get them to stay. Go figure. The bridge and the tailpiece are different than the old ones. Okay, the bridge here, you'll see that later in 79, 80, and 81, but in 78, completely different Gibraltar version of the bridge. Same with the tailpiece, that's not in 78, that came around in about 80. For this particular one, the knob's totally wrong for the entire run of the PS10s for the first 4 years, 78, 9, 80, 81. Never used these knobs. Those knobs were used on, let's see, right here, the 20th anniversary, the made in Japan, but the US edition, there was 211 of those sent to the US. 300 actually made it stayed overseas, but this one was retopped with the mirror finish. This one here, yeah, it's the same, I guess, as those. The knobs. So everything that was made right then in 95, 96 all featured these knobs. Okay, so everything else they did right. They did the V2 pickups, which are in each position. So V2 and V2, that's exactly what they used in the entire run of the 70s and early 80s PS10, so they got that right. Of course, Paul Stanley never used any of the pickups that were ever put in any of the PS10s. He always used the DiMarzio's Super 2s or Super Distortion 2s, so we never actually got that sound. Everything else is pretty close. The Valve Tune 2 tuners are there. The oddly enough, I don't know if they did this on purpose. It looks like an on-purpose thing where they tried to make it look vintage, and I hope this crappy camera that I've been using all this time will pick it up, because it's on here. It looks like it was done almost like a I never remember the word because I hate to even say it. It's almost like it's relict. But let's see if this camera can get in there. See the lines in the binding? Okay, that's not in any other binding. I know binding is not going to make much of a difference to y'all, but for somebody like me that is really into guitars and every part of every guitar and having to know every last detail, this stuff's important to me. So you get to fast forward or live through it. Here's the 81 with real binding issues, which they all had, and a lot of these will end up separating from the guitar. So that's the 80, I'm sorry, the 78. Okay, so that's what the real binding did once it yellowed and so forth back then. So it looks like they tried to do the classic, so it looked like it was relict, pre-yellowed and pre-checking or binding cracking in there. Everything else is really close. Okay, so we have the mahogany body, the slightly carved maple top, three-piece maple neck. You got the volute right there. Helps you from breaking your headstocks off like the Gibson stuff. Okay, your half bone, half brass nut. I still have yet to clean this or do anything to it yet, so that will shine up really pretty shortly. It says jumbo frets, of course, in the catalog. I'd call those medium jumbos. You want to go to jumbos, again, I know I'm going to make this video damn near as long as that epic feature I said I was going to make, but these are jumbos. This is by far the most ornate, and still to this day never played, the Limited. These are jumbo frets. Still has the original strings, still has the plastic on everything, including the pickups, and has just never ever plastic there, just has never been played. Okay, so again, that one's October of 95. H for October. Count on your fingers. H is the 10th letter of the alphabet, the month I was born in, so I know that, and that's the month that it is right now when I'm shooting this. Okay, so let's put this puppy on, and I mean, it feels great, and I plugged it in earlier and it sounds great. Somebody asked me before, just earlier today when they knew I got this in, about the, and I've never mentioned these, underneath the bridge, if you can see it. Okay, maybe you can see it there. There's actually what's called a sustain block. You'll see that piece of metal that both of your screws here, they go into, the bolts go into what's another big thick dense piece of metal that's inlaid into the body. They did this with all the original PS10s and with that Limited that I just showed you with all the gold hardware. So the sustain block, what's it do? Jack squat. It's just another seller's, a gimmick. It doesn't do jack. It doesn't do anything. I've got it also in, oh, they did it a few times. And you notice I dressed up pretty for y'all today and put on a different Kiss shirt. Yep, Scott Grove with a shirt with collar on. I guess you maybe haven't even seen the Kiss shirt. I guess you probably don't care either. But these very rare IC300s from '78. You can see there's a stain block there very easily against this finish. Same thing. So it was nothing new. Still doing the half and half, or 1/4 and 3/4 on the bone and brass nut, which is my favorite nut of theirs. It just makes total sense. So that brass tones down some of the sound from the bone, which, you know, want to tone down the bone. Okay, let me suit up here. And we'll just run through typical tones. I probably won't even do any Kiss tunes today. Yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I never know exactly what I'm going to do until I get there. So, guitar picks. Alright, let's get it off my pretty face, which I... Damn, it's hard to look at that every day. You're like, no shit. Okay, so let's take a peek here. Okay, so there's the Kiss shirt. Yeah, one of the Dragonfly shirts from Gene Simmons. I think I've got every single one of those too, all the Dragonfly shirts. Cool company that Gene actually had that actually did well. It's one of his few ventures that didn't go into obscurity and poverty right away. Okay, so the guitar, I mean it does look classic. And these you had to end up because Paul confiscated all these and the PS10 2s right at the very end. The Limited stayed out there for the most part, but right close to 97, after the first year of the Kiss reunion tour in '76 happened, then Paul pulled back and all these guitars and took them for himself. All the classics, all the Korean ones, stuff, and you could only buy them from him. So made it pretty tough to, and what became of all of them, nobody knows. That's why these are really hard to find, the classics. So it was the last one out of all of them that I had to find. Again, the other ones were the PS10 2, the PS10 20th anniversary, actually known as, that's the 20th anniversary, known as the IC1000BK. Still says PS10 reissue at the top of it, but you know, and the LTD, and then of course the old ones, and then the classic here. Okay, so let's go straight into the Johnson Millennium JM150 modeling amp. First modeling amp ever made. Clean channel, both pickups, everything on the guitar dimed. You have 1, 2 volumes, one for each pickup, and a master tone. Also the, just for fun, just to point out differences, the length of that tailpiece decoration is longer than on any other model. So they save the longest one for the last. Okay, you'll see most of them don't usually dip down this far. They will come up a lot shorter. Let's just grab the 78. Okay, not that it makes any difference, but see that there? And then you've got a longer drip looking thing there going on. So there's interesting combinations and different things that happened from 78 through 81 that kept changing up, so I'll bring those up on the full-length video. Okay. And if I actually plug the guitar in, it might help. Okay, so again, through the Johnson, going in clean, fairly clean anyway. That don't sound very loud. Let's turn it up. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we got it. Okay, now that's louder than all shit in here. So there is actually a compressor built into this camera on the microphone. So take that into account. For all videos that I've done in the past, people always ask me about compression. I always use some on my guitar, but the microphone does have a compressor on it, so it will take extreme volumes without distorting, but it might change the sound on your end a little bit just because of all the compression that it has internally. Okay, so Groovy sounds classic. That's both pickups. The bridge. Okay, if I turn the volume up via my foot pedal, my Morley volume pedal, we'll get a little bit of dirt. We'll go ahead and do Firehouse just to have the natural. The amp does have two 12AX7 tubes in it, so you get a little bit of those doing some overdrive. Some little bit of dirt there. Sounds cool. Plug in my power supply for my volume pedal all the way. It might help. That's me. Do the toggle switch thing. Now, what you would think, but it doesn't happen. You would think I would get used to the knobs because every single one of these have two volumes and a tone, but they're all wired differently. So this one's wired like the original one, where you can actually do the cutting in and out from the first position, meaning the bridge pickup, then to the middle, silent, and up here of course silent too. But some of the other ones aren't wired that way. They will not cut out in the middle. You have to go all the way to the rhythm position or all the way up. So you have to go two positions, you know, to get your little groovy cut in and out Ace Frehley thing, you know. So, kind of strange. Okay, so let's just go to the neck pickup. Turn on the volume. Shut up, guitar. Okay. Clean tones, distorted. Of course, we're going right to the humbucker back here, and let's go to the straight distortion. Let's see what would sound like fun today. Let's do doobie. Which doobie you be? pretty cool. Everything's got to be an E for some reason. It's just that it's got that chunk. Oh God, we could even do let's go back to the other one. Clean with the neck pickup. Since I don't think it's too soon now that Michael Jackson's gone. Where'd all that delay come from? Do that again. Third time I could probably get it, but I'm not going there. There you go. Both pickups. With the soldano sound, which I always love to do. I don't know why. Just got a great sound to it. My patch. I don't know about the guitar yet. I'm still playing with it. Of course, the old Bob Seger Main Street lick. Just good stuff. Let's try something country. Why? Because I said. Okay, so that's basically it. It is just a guitar. But it is a PS10, and it is a milestone. Why? Like I said, it's just the final piece to my little quirky puzzle. As I had explained a long time ago, well, actually earlier at the beginning of the year, when I sold off a whole bunch of guitars, a couple hundred I think. Excuse me. Put this where she goes. I was planning on, and still am, on just buying, you know, a few vintage things and having them around. I'm not trying to fill up quite as much room in the old place, but the wife wouldn't have as much to pawn off when I croaking while I'm doing that. But I ended up doing a Kiss collection first. But so now it's now that part's out of the way, the PS10s are out of the way, all of the Kiss stuff has been gotten and met, and even the Firebird and all that stuff. And since Paul had them, and then of course, if you remember the early days, the Ibanez Destroyers and the Gibson Explorers and all that stuff being around. Oh, there's Ace's guitar. So all these, and then over here on Gene Simmons' row with all of the axes and other things. So I have done well. I finished my Paul Stanley collection. I'm only a couple away from the Gene Simmons thing. I got to grab a couple of the BC Rich Punishers, and then that will pretty much finish up the Gene Simmons collection. Ace. God, I wish I liked Les Pauls, but I don't. Okay, so from here on out, like I said, I'll do the one. This ended up being a half hour, dang near. Go figure, just to show you a guitar. That's what I do. Like I said, I'll do the epic 3D feature with all the PS10s and just go through them all, so you can come here at some point and just look up all the specs on them, and I'll have all the specs right here for every single one of them, and probably not even play them, just show you the differences between each one, go through, like I said, all the specs, what's different about each one, go through different website things that will show you some information that will help you out. So all the PS10s have been accounted for and have been given a demo of, so you can either do that, or like I said, come back and check out the condensed version, which I'll do at some point, which will be twice this long, so I have to be quiet for once and actually get right to the point. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the PS10 Classic. Okay, again from 1996, not 1997, so the entire internet is completely wrong on that, and the limited gold one. And for the most part, well, they actually did have the PS10 2 out in 95 and 96. Okay, that's the Korean model, the one and only Korean PS10 to be put out. All the rest were done in Japan, even though the coolest one of them all, as far as I'm concerned, is the LTD. It's the only one that never says anything about Japan anywhere on the guitar. All the other ones will say crafted in Japan, or at the very end, like the one I just showed you, said made in Japan. It's kind of a Fender thing going on over there, which it's the same factory, if you guys know that or not, the Shinogaki thing. That's where the Fender Japanese guitars are made from, so that's why the Fender Japanese guitars are so great. You know, they come out of the same company, or the same plant as the mega high-end Ibanez guitars do. So same place. Okay, so they didn't have to build a new Fender building. It's just, hey, let's make guitars here under Fender specs. So the whole old Fender story, and they still make way better guitars over there than they do over here. So so if you're looking at Fender too, go get Fender Japan guitars instead of the USA ones. Much better, and of course the Mexican ones are as good or better than the American ones too. So America has gone to crap as far as making anything. We don't make anything, do we, still anymore? No, we make more jobs for people overseas. That's what we're all about. Outsource, outsource, outsource. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the PS10 Classic. I don't know that I've seen one of these on YouTube, so there it is, and that's all you get to hear of it until later when you can hear more about it. Okay, you all drive fast, be careless, don't drink and drive, you might spill some, and all that stuff. GroovyMusicLessons.com for all my reviews on every guitar, There's a page on there that shows all the guitars that I currently have. If it's shown on there, I still have it. If it's not shown on there, I don't have it. But the reviews from all the guitars over the last few years are still there. And then all kinds of free lessons and all kinds of just scary stuff to behold. Which you guys have no idea what I've got prepared for you, but it's going to be fun. And I hope Phil X can take a joke. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, you guys take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.